In this lesson, we're going to learn how to divide fractions by whole numbers. How are we going to go about it? We're going to examine the steps. We're going to look at the steps that we need to follow to divide fractions by whole numbers. And then, in our usual fashion, we are going to walk through some examples together, following those same steps so that you can do them on your own independently. So what are these steps? The first thing we need to do is to write the whole number as a fraction with 1 as its denominator. This is most likely going to be, or rather, this is definitely going to be an improper fraction. So what we're saying here is if I had 3 as my whole number, I'm going to now replace it with 3 over 1. So 1 has to be the denominator. Now we're going to flip the numerator and the denominator on the fraction or of the fraction on the right side of the division symbol. We're going to multiply across the numerators, multiply across the denominators, and then simplify the result. Now let's look at some examples together. Evaluate 5 over 6 divided by 4. So what we're saying here is 5 over 6 divided by, we're going to make 4. Let's do it this way. The first step here is actually to write 4 as 4 over 1. Now we're going to replace 4 with 4 over 1. And now what we need to do is remember, on the left side of the division symbol, we stay the same. On the right side, we flip positions and then we change the sign to a multiplication. And now we have multiplication across 5 multiplied by 1 divided by 6 multiplied by 4. And then we have 5 over 24. And that's the simplest form. Next example, we go ahead and change 3 to an improper fraction with 1 as its denominator. And now we have 4 over 9 divided by 3 over 1. And now, using our practice for division, we leave the number or the fraction on the left side alone. The fraction on the right hand side, we flip positions, change the sign to a multiplication. Now we can multiply across the numerator and multiply across the denominator. 4 multiplied by 1, we have 4. 9 multiplied by 3, we have 27. That's the simplest form. 7 over 8 divided by 2. Let's write 2 as an improper fraction with 1 as its denominator. That gives us 2 over 1. So now we have 7 over 8 divided by 2 over 1. And now we leave the fraction to the left hand side alone. The fraction to the right hand side, we flip. It becomes 1 over 2. Change the sign to a multiplication. Then we can now multiply across 7 multiplied by 1 over 8 multiplied by 2. 7 multiplied by 1, we have 7. 8 multiplied by 2, we have 16. That's the simplest form. Now our final example, evaluate 4 over 5 divided by 2. So let's go ahead and write 2 as an improper fraction with 1 as its denominator. Gives us 2 over 1. So now we have 4 over 5 divided by 2 over 1. Now the left side of the fraction to the left side of the division symbol stays exactly the same. The fraction to the right hand side switches position. So we're flipping it, so it becomes 1 over 2. We change the sign to a multiplication symbol. And then we can multiply across 4 multiplied by 1 over 5 multiplied by 2. Now we have some common values. So 2 divided by 2, we have 1. 4 divided by 2, we have 2. So now we can multiply across again. We have 2 multiplied by 1 over 5 multiplied by 1. This is going to give us 2 over 5, and that's the simplest form.